So, Dr. Alfiee, may I ask a couple of things about your background in psychology and the research that you've done, right? You have this incredible body of work of more than 20 years. And I know that some of the things that you shared in two of your books, and I quickly read some of the excerpt, and it has to do with the significance of mental health in our times, but also mental health disparities and access to services or culturally competent services and treatment. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Of course. So the idea behind the work that I do in mental health disparities really focuses on, again, creating space for people who traditionally have been left out of these conversations about mental health. There are multiple ways in which that happens. One of the ways in which it happens is in my field, the field of psychology, which is the same for the field of psychiatry, the same for the field of clinical social work, less so with clinical social work, is that all of the treatments and all of the things that we've developed really only come from one perspective.
Right.
And I should say primarily. And that perspective traditionally has been Western, white, European. That's fine because that speaks to a segment of the population. It doesn't speak to all of us. It probably doesn't speak to most of us. And so the idea behind trying to address disparities, on the one hand, is to bring in the fullness and richness of the lived experience of all kinds of people, right? So clearly not everyone comes from a Western, white, European background or worldview. There are plenty of white Western Europeans who don't ascribe to that particular worldview. And so the idea is, how do we bring in, as with this wonderful organization, multiple ways of knowing, going back to that idea of there's more than one way of knowing. And disparities, on the other hand, is also about ensuring that people have equitable access to the things that they need to take care of their mental health. Whether that is conceptualizing mental health in multiple ways, right? For some people, mental health is holistic. It's mind, body, and spirit. And so you can't talk about your mental health and emotional well-being without bringing in concepts of spirituality.
Yes.
Right? And so for me, it's really about trying to find the path, I guess I would say the path of least resistance, to allow as many people as possible to come into the conversation around mental health in ways that resonate with them. And I think disparities is one of the ways that we get at that. We ask people what their lived experience is, and then we take that lived experience and incorporate it into the work that we do, as will be a part of what we're going to do at the end of this discussion portion. So to me, that's really what it's about, because there's enough knowledge, there's enough knowing for us to be able to share it with each other, and for there not to be just one way of knowing, right? I think in the United States, I don't know about other countries because I haven't lived in other countries, but traditionally in the US, that's really how we sort of, it's like a pyramid. Excuse me, at the top of the pyramid is that one way of knowing. That doesn't work for everybody. So I want something that really is more diffuse. It gets down toward the base of that pyramid, because the widest part of the pyramid is the strongest part. And that's what I want. I want to be in the base with the strongest part with the widest diversity. And that's what addressing disparities is about for me.